Good morning, Predicted Trades family. Oh, thank you for joining me on this Wednesday, May 11th. CPI numbers are out. How do you think they like them? Good stuff. Let's see how it settles. A lot of times we all start reacting to, oh, they hated CPI numbers. Look at how it dropped. Sometimes we got to keep things in context, though. CPI numbers do not usually make or break a market. We are on a tiny little upward trend, right? And we were nearing the top of our squeezes pre-market. We have seen economic release days like CPI, where we're grinding up at the top of a squeeze. No matter what the numbers say, they dump it and then pick it right back up. So don't let this put any bias into you and thinking definitely short it open. Although shorting it open has been working every day, pretty much. But main point being, try not to be biased. Let's read the price action in front of us and be ready for anything. Just updating this little trend line from these lows to see if we can hold. Yesterday was a great day on the market for all of us here in Predicted Trades. And a big hearty welcome to our new folks that joined yesterday. We're going to come into your area and give you a taste of what it's like in Predicted Trades today. If this is your first time tuning in and you haven't joined the server yet, go check out our website. We just dropped a link so that anyone can join. But yesterday on the market, we had a grand old time. We opened right at the top of a squeeze. These big clouds represent squeezes on different time frames. It's one of the handy dandy custom tools that was built by yours truly, the professor. So yesterday we opened at a 1 hour squeeze top. We reach right up past my key level, 40.56, which was low of year after we broke 41.01. We reach above it just a bit. The second we break back below it, our team was loading into the shorts. Whenever we get near a squeeze top, especially one that's thicker versus one that's thinner, we like to take position for the reversal. So once we broke below that level, we went short. Once we arrive at the squeeze bottoms, we're locking up at the next key level. Once we break back above that and test it and go, we're going long off our squeeze bottoms. Right back up. And once we started rejection, we loaded into those 4,000s. In fact, those 4,000 puts on SPX yesterday were money once, twice, 3 times, pretty much like actually 8 times, but overall, we're holding the second Keltner down, this red hashed line. If you're also new, this may look like a whole bunch of gobbledygook, but it will make sense the more and more that you tune into our preps. Our daily moving averages in my system start with the 21 up above at white, the 15 at orange, and the blue is our daily 8. So the daily 8 is the first moving average we're going to interact with on our trek back higher. The hash lines are Keltners, so with the daily mean right here, 1 Keltner down is this red hash line, orange one up here. And the second Keltner down is right down here at this 39.84 today. The third Keltner down, should we start to slip through this squeeze bottom, is down at 38.73. We track those Keltners just so that we have kind of a far out target. Usually we don't go too much past the third Keltner down or the third Keltner up. So overall, today on ES. Come on, auto zoom for me. There we go. Today on ES, we have a 1 hour, a 2 hour squeeze intact. We still have Parkway up above our squeezes. We are nearing that squeeze bottom, from squeeze bottom to squeeze top. Let's see if this 39.61, which kind of allowed us to bounce yesterday, holds us up. Let's see if that squeeze bottom can cause the reversals we're used to seeing. Oh me, come on, don't start freezing on me. Come on, Toss, don't freeze on me. There we go. Sorry, hold on one second. I got a, there we go, error that was popping up. Now things are working. So, we're also going to mark yesterday's low. So we've got a nice little zone here of support of previous lows yesterday and in the last week. Let's see if this zone can prop us up. We can get as low as this squeeze bottom and still wick back up and catch a bounce. Overall, if we start slipping below the squeeze bottom, we can potentially head right on down to 3,900 and this third Keltner down. Already starting to catch a bounce, so overall, looking to go long off of this squeeze bottom as long as we hold. Holding means we can slip down, but we have to wick back up and take off on something like a 30-minute candle. If we get through, come back to test, and keep going lower, then this will fire down. But overall, on the squeeze bottom, looking to go long. Watch those 4,000s. 400s on SPY. 40-20s, yada yada. So looking to go long off the squeeze bottom, back to the squeeze top. If we can start to get outside the squeeze top, we do our daily 8 at 40.80. We have that previous low of a year that held us up until the last week or two at 41.01. And this big key shaded zone on 41.36.5. For any of the new folks that might not know why that zone is so important, if we, come on, back on out, this is the entire year so far. We sold off, but we caught a bounce at this zone, 41.36.5. Bounce, 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 bounce. And one more even. Now we're below it and we're rejecting. So that's the big key target. Once we clear 41.01, 41.36. Step back down. So yeah, overall premise on ES. We have these squeezes intact, 1 hour, 2 hour. We can just chop around them. We can fire down, we can fire up. Watch your key levels. These squeeze clouds. Watch your key levels above. And we're already wicking back up to that second Keltner. So just keep an eye. NQ, moving along. Very similar. Starting to get through the downtrend from the highs, just like we saw in ES. A little chop yesterday. We have the same kind of squeezes intact today on NQ, the bottom of which will be testing the low of the week. So let's see if we can catch a bounce right around there. Come in and mark those levels. They can be helpful indeed. Oh, come on. There it is. So see if we can hold that 100. We can slip down to this 50 where there is the other squeeze and bounce back up. We saw some of that yesterday, slipping through one squeeze to tap another and take back off. So overall, no bias, but as we near the bottom of a squeeze, I'm always going to be looking to go long. We can get a cover pop now that we are gapping down after being so far up. So we could get a cover pop right off the squeeze bottom. The Ruddy. Not that we trade it much, but there are names that we do trade in the Ruddy, like Shop. Down hard, right? 1900 is the big key level on Ruddy. Now that we're below it, that is the key target to get back to, and the daily 21 is already catching up to that. So let's see if the Ruddy, which is not down as much. One thing I like to say in here is the Ruddy, the Russell 2000, can oscillate or react a little bit before the other indices. You know, for instance, yesterday I think it's rejected cloud and started falling first, then NQ and whatnot. It reached outside its clouds but got back in first, so it was a good sign for the bounces coming. So I just like to watch the Ruddy at least to see if it holds and starts bouncing first, or YM, we can see the upside in the market. Now, YM, speaking of you. Oh, we've got our low from yesterday. Always come in and mark some of these things so you can keep an eye as we near them. We've got our squeeze bottoms. Ultimately, if we can stay above this 31,800 and get back above 32,000, we can easily get back to these squeeze tops and to tap the daily 8, which has finally come down to reach right below yesterday's high. So overall, let us find our feet, maybe catch a bounce on the gap down and cover up, and fight on back to that daily 8. I'm going to start accelerating through these names because we're getting closer to 9. Apple. Low of the week, that 151.5. I know some folks picked her up at 153, which she pulled down to and bounced yesterday on this 30-minute trend line. Slipping through that with the market right now. But overall, like I've done on the other names, mark the low of the week. Could be a great bounce point if we do open and try to dump, trap some people short, and then take off. As I've said, we can always fire down, right? But this 153, 155 is a pretty big key zone. You know, we dumped to it, tried to bounce off of it, just kind of muddled around it. Now we're holding it. So let's see if this 153, 155 can hold us up, send us back through these squeeze tops and to the daily mean. Apple with a 5-point ATR and close around here. We could get back to the mean even in one day. We do have the daily 200 right up near 159.75. Apple does not like to stay below the 200 very long. So let's see what we get. AMD. Not a huge focus for me. I'll probably play NVIDIA more. You know, was strong yesterday, pulled right up to our 90.82, wicked it, we're right back down to squeeze bottoms, tap the daily 15. Now we're probably going to be just trapped between the daily 15 and this 86 and 87.89. So let's see if we can, if we get as low as 86, if we can find our feet, that would be a great low, leaving some price action below it to take off from. Amazon. Amazon rejecting third Keltner. and hovering below it. Overall, Amazon's not going to start really moving until the market starts moving. But she does have the stock split coming up in less than a month, so should keep our eye on it. If market can find its feet and actually start to rally and get over the mean, Amazon could, well, at least start to rally back to the mean. Amazon could see a lot of volume rush in as people try to load up before the split. Cat. Ooh, cat hovering down near these lows from after earnings. So keep an eye on that. She successfully, filled all of that gap. And she's nearing this very key 200 level. So cat could be poised for a great bounce at this 200 to 201 and 202. Which could set her up to run back to the mean, and the daily 200, which is at 207. So definitely keep an eye. I need cat to move for YM to get some love to the upside. Facebook getting tight on this squeeze. We have this gap up from earnings, right? That we have not even tested yet. Today could be the day that we get that little slip just a little bit lower and tap that gap fill to find a whole bunch of buyers that came in on the earnings gap up, right? So big level of support here for Facebook to bounce off 193, get back above 200 into the squeeze top. The squeeze is getting tight. We've got orange on it, right? So that's high compression. From orange and high compression, price action has to run into these clouds to open them up, right? We had orange yesterday. We ran into the top and stayed up there for a second, so things started to open up. Actually ran into bottom, which starts to open it up. Then we hit the top, which opens it up more. That's why the top opens up a little harder while the bottom just flattens. But basically, let's see if we can get around two of that as we get down at these squeeze bottoms near open. We might see that little slip, but we need to get a bounce right around this 193, very key. If we start to get below 192, come back and reject it again, we could accelerate through this gap fill, which would cause the market to fire those squeezes down. So Facebook, large cap, lots of weight. Keep an eye on it. It's a great gauge with this gap fill. We can just continue to hold this and keep bouncing, and buyers keep stepping in. It's going to spell a good upside for the market. Watch those two key levels, 195.32 and 205, if we do get up there moving. Google. Google's not really leading right now. Facebook's looking a little better as far as XLC. But definitely mark these lows as I just look left. Bounces. And we're getting right near them. So mark that 22.5. We could slip outside, maybe even tag the squeeze bottom, but Google back above 22.5 can spell a lot of nice upside where buyers keep stepping in, right? Should be fired down. Third Keltner is way on down there. Something like that will only happen if Facebook starts to fill that gap to the downside, right? GS, lots of squeezes, including a daily. So all these squeezes are running into a daily. Lots of support right here at this 300. Let's see if we get any pop it open, or if we start to slip to test these lows, since we're near all these squeeze cloud bottoms. So let's see if we get down to test this 300 big key level. Should hold GS and cause a bounce with a nice wide squeeze like this. Compared to something like Facebook that we already looked at, GS could get some movement today. JPM, tighter squeeze. You've got your low and high set. Not a lot of interest in JPM if finance is going to lead. It's going to be GS. Microsoft, ooh. Back down at 265. I talked about that at the beginning of the week. 265 very key. We fell to it, kept trying to hold it, slipped it after hours, back above, bounced at it, back at it. 265 is pretty key. Nice that we have a squeeze here. I could see us go down to test this low at 263, tap this squeeze bottom, get back above 265 and take off. Ultimately, if we slip lower, we could get as far as 260 before a bounce. If we slip that and reject it, we've got our next Keltner down at 251. But it is worth noting we have a daily squeeze that we are running into with all these squeezes. So we should, on a big fat daily squeeze, see a reversal and stay within it. Usually firing squeezes, we push against them, they get thinner, and then they fire. Right? And a lot of times we see reversals right there. But when their squeezes are nice and big like this, it usually requires a ton of energy to get through them, like an earnings dump or something like that, right? So overall, looking for a bounce on Microsoft at that daily squeeze that we're about to open in. Oop, turn it. Netflix, not a huge interest. Down on earnings, way below third Keltner. It's not going to lead or save the market. So, not a big interest for me. Do take note of all these squeezes. NVIDIA. Top of squeeze, bottom of squeeze. Let's see if that 168 can save us, or the squeeze bottom at 166. But we could easily just bounce at 170 and head back up if we fire these squeezes down and give up 170 and 165. 160 is that third Keltner. Qs. Oh, 2 hour squeeze intact. New low of week already. So relative wise, NQ leading to the downside. Like I said, we could see some rotation into YM. But let's see where the selling stops. For the Qs, new low of week, let's see if these squeeze bottoms can hold us up. Third Keltner, really not that far on the Qs. So I could even see a slip down to that third Keltner, which is kind of getting to the extremes of oversold. Wick down there and back up in the first 30 minutes would be quite bullish. If we can wick up, hold these squeeze bottoms and go. But if we get below them and reject, 290, below that, I'll drop some levels in chat. Roku, not a big interest. Even though it had a good pop on earnings and got back to the mean. I mean, it's maybe the best looking streamer right now, which isn't saying much because they're all getting their ass beat. So, moving on, Shop, same thing, down hard, third Keltner, down on earnings, not a ton of interest. I mean, there are better things to short out there, frankly. Like SPX. Closed at 4,000. Now we're gapping down. Let's just take a quick peek back at ES. Yes, gapping down to a new low of the week. 39.47. So, SPX going to be opening most likely down at a new low of the week, right? We will be near some key levels down below, which seem to be all muddled up and overlapped. Let me see if I can drop down. Well, I definitely do have some key levels below. We'll be opening at new lows near 39.40. 39.09 is third Keltner. 39.25 is key. And if we lose 39, 38.83. It's a big key level in the past on SPX. SPY. Oh, SPY. Let's see. Big old squeezes, including a 2 hour. And there is a start of a 4 hour a little bit. So 393 is where that 4 hour sits. As we are in this 2 hour, let's see if we go down to tap 393 for the bounce. If we go lower and start to fire these squeezes down, third Keltner is at 390. That's cute. I guess I didn't really cover it upside. You know, if we hold these squeeze bottoms, we're heading back to 400. We're heading back to 405 squeeze top. Nice range set on the day. Yada, yada. Square. Got its little butt kicked this week. Down hard on Monday. But leveling out. We've got some nice lows to work off here that we're approaching at this squeeze bottom. So let the market settle. But if long is the play, we could see a nice rotation into square. But, you know, Bitcoin will play a little bit of a factor in that. Tesla. Tons of squeezes all setting in. We've got our 2 hour. We've got a 1 hour. We've kind of got our ranges too. 780, 820, where we keep rejecting and bouncing. Where is Tesla? Yeah, 781. Okay. So yeah, let's see if low of week can hold. It's not quite down pushing through low of week, even though the market is. So potential relative strength. And a lot of key support here at 780. So looking for it to hold, maybe retest low of week, no further below 770, and then heading higher. Should it actually go lower? 750 is going to be huge in key. And things could get interesting. I heard a rumor that if we get below 750, this Twitter deal could fall apart. Just because, you know, he's backing it with his stake in Tesla. So, VIX. Let's keep an eye on VIX, as always. Back above our key level, 33.52. Next key level up, 35.28. Let's see if we do have a little slip in the market at open to fully test those squeeze bottoms on all names. I expect to see this get up to 35.28 and its squeeze top, right? On VIX we have, this is a 2 hour squeeze with a 1 hour squeeze down below. So ultimately, we're looking for a key rejection if we get up to this 35.28 and this, you know, up to 36 at this squeeze top. If we get above that, 37.5 is very key, and I've kind of drawn a little bit of a straddle around it at some key levels on VIX. We usually reverse at this point. So let's see if we can get up and test the top and reject, allowing the market to bounce. If we do start drifting down, need to get through 33.52. If we bounce there, we'll see a pullback in the market again. If we can get through 33.52 and down to the daily 8, these squeeze bottoms, that'll allow the market to get up to their squeeze tops. It's all a gauge. Push one direction, pull the other. So keep an eye on these key levels on VIX. Let the squeezes guide us today. Let the beast guide us today, like it does every day. And just for fun, gonna take a quick look at this SPX 4000 that we hit yesterday. It tapped our beast in the morning, right around 10 a.m. at about 5:25, 5:30. Entry price took off to our target, $36.40. Came back from our higher buy zone to our lower buy zone. We picked it up at 3, sold some at 8 and 10. It went a little further to our next buy level at around $1.50. We took that up to $12 at our little take profit shaded zone and right back down. Funny enough, though, there were a couple of other trades. It hit 150 again and ran up to 8. So we really abused this thing yesterday. I think even some of our members ran out of buying power. They hit it so many times. So we'll try to find the poster child today on SPX. Definitely going to be keeping an eye on those big key 4,000, 4,025, that kind of thing. So good luck to everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to all the new members. We'll be in your area today, joining us in the general chat, general voice chat. And in that free chat text channel, we will be in there all day for the trading session so you can get a taste of what it's like. Thanks for tuning in. Good luck today. See you on the battlefield.